Hi guys, hey, Frank Aldridge from the Integral Group here. Look, question of the month, and we've just been approached quite a few times just recently by clients who are saying, hey, look, in terms of managing our contracts, what's a good way of doing a performance framework? Or they even wanted to have a template to manage their contracts. So we saw an email going around this recently around local government that was all about this. And someone referred to something I'd done for one of their contracts. So, look, what I did was, the first thing where this came from was there was a contract out there that we knew about that had a number of performance areas. There was about 12 of them, and the contract said, hey, look, they had to fulfill about 7 or 8 of those. So what the contractor did was they thought, well, gee, that one's pretty hard, so we just drop the ball completely on that one. That one's okay, we'll do that one, this one's really hard, and this one's really hard. So what they did was they just completely dropped the ball on 3 or 4 of the measures, but they were still within the contract. So from a contract management point of view, look, I'd be bringing them in and having some serious talks with them about this, but from a contractual point of view, they were a little bit caught. And so the failing there was that they didn't have a sort of a ranking of importance around the measures. So what we do when we're implementing contracts is I came up with this, we sort of like a weighted attribute model, but like you have when you're running a tender process and you have the different attributes and they have different percentages. So that's where I sort of got the idea from. And so that way what we're wanting at the end of it is like a weighted number per month. And and then if you're below a certain number, hey, you need to address it, and if you're below a certain number even lower, hey, you're basically in breach of contract. So what it also does, it means you're sort of seeing a monthly number, hey, how are we tracking? We had one where it suddenly dropped way down like that, and then went along and then it picked up again. What was the change? Well, the change was actually the person at the council end, or the client end, changed, and they had a new one in there, and they were sort of quite militant and quite sort of draconian in the way they applied it. So you have to sort of also work out, so what you're going to measure. And what we've also done is, to make this more balanced, we've actually got measures going both ways. So what I do is I just do a brainstorming session in a workshop, and it might come up that, hey, you know, the things that they really want to focus on from the council point of view or the client point of view is, hey, performance, health and safety, client relationships, and then something about budget. So what I've also done is off those splintered out a bit more, so that might be, hey, performances, it's got to be on time, but there's also a quality aspect. So what we can then do is attach some percentages. So we might go, you know, we might have 40% on this criteria, 30 on this one, 20 on this one, and 10 on there. Something to that effect. And it's just normal sort of facilitation brainstorming techniques to work out where they sort of lie. And then within this one, on time and quality, well, we might say, hey, 60% is on that one and 40 is on that one. So we've just developed a spreadsheet that you then drop this into. So we call the first lot key result areas, KRAs, and the second lot key performance indicators, KPIs. So we've got to work out those percentages. That's as much as I do in the workshop for a start, except I also do one around the other way. So, hey, what does the supplier want from the client? And gee, that's a bit novel, eh? So asking them what they want. But it might be that they need access to some sites to do the work, so that might be a 40% in this case, this might be a 25, so there's 65, this might be a 20, there's 85, and there might be a 15 on this one. So that decisions are made on time, you know, and that they get paid on time. What's interesting is that doesn't always come out the highest. It depends on how mature they are, how long they've been in business. If they've been in business a long time, they seem to rank that sort of lower. But, you know, the budget doesn't change. That's one that we had on a piece of work we did recently where the budget had been chopping and changing historically. So work out what's important to you, what's important to them, allocate some percentages, and then later on we've got to document, you know, why we're measuring this, how we're going to measure it, who's going to measure it, but also which ones are critical, because now if we come back to this one we did here and said that, hey, this one is critical and you've got to score, you know, above 80% on it, otherwise you're in breach of contract, that would have fixed that problem that these guys created. And so that's the other thing we do. So, but again, just have a handful of measures, not hundreds. They've got to be measurable, you've got to be able to record it, and you've got to be doing it. So we'll come in here later on and there's been an issue, right, show me where this is, and no one recorded it, you know. So you've got a lot of effort to create this stuff. You've got to create it for good reason and then do it. So back to the basics, we've got to make sure that we're capturing what's critical. We've got to, we're doing it because it gives us a monthly number that we can track ongoing performance against. We're doing it so it's balanced, there's measures on both parties. And we brainstorm those out, allocate percentages to them next, and then we decide which ones are critical, and we might have secondary percentages, and then in the documentation we've just got to record these bits. So I hope you get something out of that. It is something we might even create a training workshop on this, because I've just had a lot of requests around this particular topic just recently. So fire through any more questions you've got, and we'll look forward to seeing you. Before you go, I just want to introduce a couple of the team. We've had a little bit of movement around here in terms of our thinking in the last sort of year, and a big part of what we're trying to do out in the marketplace, and some of you have seen it, is we're really out to kill the dark side, is what we're calling it. We've got the dark side of procurement and project management is just this old-fashioned bullying, draconian sort of master servant type stuff. So we've got some new job titles. I'm now the Jedi Master, and what I want to just quickly, I wanted to introduce you to a couple of new Jedi Knights. So we're going to pan around. This is at the risk of them really feeling awkward, but that's too bad today because we're having fun. So we've got Ellen and Bridget here.
Hey.
Hello.
Yeah. So we're just having one quick statement from them. Where you go.
This is exciting, and I'm up for the challenge.
And I'm excited to be part of the crusade.
Yeah, so look, apologies to my poor new team members, but for putting them through that. But if you want to come and work here, we'll do the same to you. That's encouraging, hey? But this is about having fun with a serious topic, and so we're really focused on just changing this, and we're changing it one council at a time. So I hope you get on board with that, and we'll look forward to seeing you out there sometime.